how you feel about Cat Williams when he did that interview with Shannon Sharp? He made a comment about how the Steve Harvey show, they took their concept from Hanging with Mr. Cooper. You believe that?
Yeah, you know what? I heard that. Those are the type of statements you look at it afterwards and go, damn, if you think about it, yeah. I don't know what goes on in these rooms when they pattern shows after this. So they go, well, that was successful. Let's do that. Hang with Mr. Cooper. There was another show. What's kind of funny though, now that you said that, I've had people say, oh, you were on Steve Harvey, weren't you? You know what? That is fucking hilarious. I'm serious. This just came to me. But yes, a lot of people, when they say, man, you were on Steve Harvey show. And I go, no, I was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Like, oh, that's right. The other, you know what I mean? So people confuse it all the time. So there's something there. As far as did he steal the idea? I don't know. People aren't very original, bro. And as you see by all the remakes, it's like, damn, I got a lot of fucking ideas. We come up with some brand new shit every fucking day. Give us a shot. So now what's dope is all these new streaming platforms and stuff now, we're cutting it. We're doing it ourselves, which is great. I did a series called Funny AF that's on Tubi. And then all of a sudden, there's a Funny AF on Netflix. We'll talk about it later. No. But it's not like, I think honestly too, and it's funny, this is a lesson my brother told me a long time ago. I was like, yo man, I got this idea and it's about two guys. He's like, stop. I'm like, what? He's like, don't tell me. I'm like, why? He's like, because I don't want to accidentally steal your idea. I'm like, how do you accidentally steal an idea, bro? He's like, because I could be at the bar talking about something. We have a conversation. We stop talking about it. Years pass. All of a sudden, I'm trying to come up with an idea and your thought comes in mind and I think it's mine. I don't remember this conversation we had, but that idea is planted in the seat. So you never share your ideas with people. Just say, I got an idea for a show. Oh yeah, what's it about? It's about a couple guys and whatever, but I'm not gonna get into full detail with it. You know what I mean? Even ideas, I'll caution people to not get too excited. I got the greatest idea, let me tell you about it. It's about, stop. Write it down, get a copy written, and then let's talk about it. Or don't. Or let's work on having a relationship where we're developing this together. Now, if we're co-writers, you want to work. Now, tell me your idea. We'll work about it. We'll get it copywritten, patented, registered, and all that shit. And now we can go to work on it. But yeah, he told me that shit a long time ago, and it's a very valid point. So, it could just have been, he's just like, this is what I wanted to do. Like, you're Steve Harvey. You're a very funny comedian. Kings of Comedy was great. It's time for your show or whatever. I don't know what the timeline was. I'm pretty sure that came before that. And it was like, what do you want to do? I was like, oh, how about this? How about that? They probably went through the, storyboard, blah, blah. So if Cat Williams has a beef with him, and it's easy to say, he stole his whole shit. He steals everybody's shit. Maybe he stole some shit, but who knows? I think it's a stretch because I just don't know. So like I said, I can only give my opinion. But like I said a little earlier, yeah, it is kind of interesting that a lot of people said they mistake the show. They mistake the two. They were like, yeah, you were on Steve Harvey show. I said, never, not a day. But I was on Hangin' with Mr. Cooper.
Let me ask you, right? Because I know when I interviewed Jason Weaver, I asked him the same thing, and I want to ask you, to go back, right? Back in the 90s, I know that had to be crazy, back in the 90s being in LA. How did you avoid drama back then?
Well, this is the thing. It's an important point that you say in the 90s. I mean, there was a lot of things that we were able to avoid, like social media. There were altercations that we've been in, some that I've talked about, some that I won't, some that I hinted at. I didn't hang around with a lot of celebrities. I hung around with celebrities that were like-minded individuals, cut from the same cloth, street smart, could fight. And most of them were probably either in a gang or affiliated. And it gives you a level of safeness. If we're all working towards the same goal, we understand that we have something to lose and to protect. I'm an alpha, but at the same time, I had a crew around me and Jason and Merlin and this and that, blah, blah. Merlin said, F that, I'm gonna take the gun, I'm gonna be that guy. But we all knew, when we went out, this is our bread and butter with respect to the guys around us. And we took care of them, we did. It only made sense to me. If I'm making all this fucking money, why are these niggas pulling their wallets out when it's time to pay the tab and the drinks and shit like that? No, why? Save your fucking money. You know what I mean? There may be a time you need that later. Don't be like, oh damn, I'm trying to keep up with y'all and went broke. Don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give you no money, but I'll pay for the tab. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll put you on the payroll and you can earn the shit type shit. But those are the people that were around us. Now you got these kids running around and they see them their bread and butter doing some goofy shit. They want to get a camera video of it. Like, look at this nigga tripping, and then sell it to TMZ to get that quick bag. And now you done f***ed off the real bag. So that just baffles me, man. But it was easier. It made sense to me then to surround myself with people that had our best interests at heart. And that's what we did. So our circle was small. We all had our own friends and different girls, but when it came to being out in public, we rolled together. You know, you move kind of like the mafia. You stick with your own, and then you move, and you don't just go off on your own little tangents and this and that. Blah, 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 blah. Shit happens if you got to go slide off and see a shorty, whatever, get a female, whatever, that type of shit. But for the most part, we traveled together. We was always together. Y'all ready? What time we meet? Meet up at the crib. We all rolling out, and that was the best way to keep each other safe, and it worked, man. Even when it got dicey, and it got dicey. It got a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? I was arrested. I was all over the news for 24 hours, and I had to save Mark Curry had to save my career, you know, with the Hang with Mr. Cooper shit, because I got caught with guns and pistols and all this shit. I wasn't shooting and going crazy, but I had them on me. Got caught, and I had to come and show up hat in hand and apologize. And Mark Curry was such a mentor. He called me over to the house before we started filming, and he sat me down and said, bro, they're about to fire your ass. You about to be donezo. This is what you need to do. Go in there on the first day and own up to what you did and assure them it'll never happen again. And if he didn't say that, I would have showed up and put my head down, read my lines, and went to home. That would have been that. Then I would have got that phone call. Don't worry about coming back next week, you know. But because he said that, I was like, oh, that's what I got to do? Cool. And I wasn't nervous about it. I just said, let's do it. And right before we got started, all right, we're about to start to read. I said, real quick, before we get started, can I say something? And they was like, and then I spoke from the heart. And they got up. Everybody stood in line to hug me, you know. And I was just like, wow, okay, cool. It's good to know they have your back, but they ain't just going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Plus, they don't know where my head was at. They don't know the story. I did my work and I went home. So they don't know. Next thing you know, I'm in jail or I'm in handcuffs. Oh, we got a weirdo. We got to get him out of here. No, I got to say, this is not me. And anybody has any questions, I will tell you. This is what happened. I wasn't shooting. I'm not a goofball. I just like guns. It was the fetish. I had 3 of them, 4 or 5 of them in the car, and it was all mine, and 4 people in the car. You know, so it's like everybody got a gun. Hey man, there's one under your seat. Everybody need one right there. Like, in case what? What are you doing? But anyway, but yeah, that's how we avoided it, man. And you know, we didn't have. Again, you those are the decisions. That's all about decision making. Who is it you gonna hang out with? Later on in my career, like with the Baby Boy set, was different because I didn't fuck with everybody on the set. They weren't my type of pick. Not everybody. You know, Taraji was cool as shit. Snoop was cool as shit. A couple of people were cool as shit. Me and Tyrese, we were different type of dudes. He didn't smoke, didn't drink. We're done there. That's 2 strikes. What we gonna do, bro? You know, we should go hang out and do this. And do what? Read lines? Like, no, that's not where my headspace is at. But I should have compromised a little more and been like, yeah, okay, I got you. I'll pull up and we'll do this and that and that. We'll figure it out. For him, you know, that was me being selfish. I was very selfish because I knew what I had to prove. I knew what he had already, but I had to prove myself, and I was locked into that. Other than that, my responsibility was my girlfriend to be. So she was tucked under me. It was hell. I was talking earlier about handcuffing her, but she was also tucked in. Like, yeah, where are we going? These niggas is looking at me. All right, get with me, baby. They ain't gonna do shit with you with me, you know. But that was it. But I was selfish. It was me and her, and it wound up being me and her against the world. I kind of pulled her into no, it was us. All right, we're leaving. Bye. Oh, we're all going out to drink. Yeah, have fun with that. And we're going over here. You know what I mean? And I learned now you got to be social and you don't be selfish, man, because, you know, even now, like if I do a movie, like I get a new script and or I join a cast or whatever, and they'll be like, yeah, we're doing audition, we're doing rehearsals. And then I'll be like, rehearsals? I don't rehearsal, man. I'm better when the camera's rolling. Just put the camera. That's for you, selfish. Rehearse with them. They want to rehearse to make them feel comfortable. You have a better project. They want to feed off of you and this and that, so forth and so on. And that's pretty much the name of the game, man. But if you have people that think the same, those are decisions you got to make. We didn't hang out with everybody that was on the cast. Every guest cast that came on Smart Guy. Nah, we didn't hang out with all of them. Couple guys, cool. But yeah, you know, Merlin, he was on. Merlin was actually on Hangin with Mr. Cooper. So that's how long I knew him. Jason Weaver, I knew him since Thea. You know what I'm saying? And I was before hanging with Mr. Cooper. So that's how far back that went. So yeah, man. So that's how we kept each other out of shit, by having each other's back. And to me, it was easy. Nothing else made sense.